On the edge of a forgotten town stood a small, weathered house no one had lived in for years. Its windows were cracked, the paint peeled away like old scars, and the garden was overtaken by wild weeds. But one autumn morning, the residents nearby noticed something impossible. A doll, perfectly placed on the window's sill, as if waiting for someone. No one claimed ownership. No family had lived there for decades. The doll wasn't just any doll. It was old, with glassy eyes that seemed to catch the faintest light, and a faded dress that whispered of long-past childhoods. Its presence sparked whispers of mystery and unease. How had it gotten there? Who put it there? And why? At the center of this story is Elena, a local librarian with a soft spot for forgotten histories. When Elena first heard about the doll, she felt an inexplicable pull, a mixture of curiosity and dread. She decided to investigate, visiting the abandoned house in the late afternoon, her footsteps stirring fallen leaves. The house felt alive in a way that was hard to explain, like it held secrets just beneath the surface. As she approached the window, the doll's eyes seemed to follow her every move. Elena's mind raced. Was someone playing a prank? Or was there something more sinister? The house had been empty since the last occupants mysteriously disappeared 30 years ago, leaving behind only scattered belongings and unanswered questions. The core tension of this story lies in the silent mystery surrounding that doll and the house. Was it a message? A warning? Or something far stranger? What connection did the doll have to the vanished family and the unexplained events that followed? Elena's investigation would soon take her beyond simple explanations, into dark histories and whispered legends tied to the town itself. Each clue brought her closer to answers, but also deeper into danger. And then, one night, as Elena pored over old newspaper clippings in the library, her phone buzzed with a photo message. It showed the doll, but this time it was inside her own home, sitting on her windowsill. The message was clear. The mystery wasn't just at the abandoned house anymore. It had found her. Elena couldn't shake the feeling that the doll was more than just an eerie relic. It felt alive, or at least connected to something alive. The house itself had a history that the townspeople barely dared to speak about. It belonged to the Moretti family, who had vanished without a trace on a cold winter's night 30 years ago. No note, no struggle, just silence. Their belongings were left untouched, meals half-eaten on the kitchen table, and a sense of sudden absence that haunted the empty rooms. Growing up, Elena heard whispers of the Morettis, how the children played with dolls that seemed to move on their own, how neighbors heard faint lullabies drifting from the house after dark. The stories felt like folklore until now. Driven by a mixture of fascination and fear, Elena started digging into the town's archives. Old newspapers revealed unsettling details, reports of strange sightings around the Moretti house, unexplained disappearances in the area, and a local legend about a cursed doll that trapped souls. The deeper she dug, the more she realized this was not just a ghost story. It was an unsolved mystery that touched many lives. Her own nights became restless. Shadows seemed to flicker just beyond her vision. The photo of the doll on her windowsill haunted her. Was someone trying to warn her? Or was the doll following her? The idea that an object could carry such malevolent intent unsettled her deeply. Elena reached out to Marco, a childhood friend and amateur historian who shared her passion for local mysteries. Together, they explored the abandoned house again. The air inside was thick with dust and memories, the scent of old wood and forgotten time. In the nursery, they found more dolls, each positioned carefully, as if waiting for someone's return. Marco noticed strange symbols etched faintly into the window frames, marks that matched the sketches Elena found in a diary belonging to one of the missing Moretti children. The symbols hinted at something ritualistic, perhaps a desperate attempt to protect or imprison. Every discovery raised more questions. Was the doll a vessel? A key? A warning? The boundary between superstition and reality blurred as Elena's grip on certainty slipped. Meanwhile, the town itself seemed to grow colder, as if the past was reaching forward. The sense of being watched, followed, grew heavier. Elena's investigation was no longer just about solving a mystery. It was about survival. And then, during a stormy evening, the power in her home flickered and died. In the pitch-black silence, a soft giggle echoed from the corner of the room. Elena's investigation began to unravel more than just old secrets. It threatened the fragile balance of her life. The doll's presence seemed to seep into every corner of her world, invading dreams and waking moments alike. She found herself questioning what was real and what was influenced by fear. Her nights were plagued by unsettling visions. A child's laughter echoing in empty halls, shadowy figures glimpsed from the corner of her eye, and that ever-present doll, sometimes perched on her windowsill, other times inexplicably found in different rooms. Was it following her? Or was she unknowingly moving it herself in moments of sleepwalking? Marco grew concerned. His logical mind struggled with the supernatural implications, but even he couldn't deny the eerie coincidences piling up. Their shared research uncovered a chilling connection. The Moretti family wasn't the first to disappear. Decades earlier, another family vanished under similar circumstances, and the common thread was always that doll, or one like it, found sitting silently in an empty room. The town's mayor, once dismissive, now approached Elena privately, urging her to stop digging. He hinted at powerful forces at work, families who controlled the town's darkest secrets, and whose influence extended far beyond the visible. Elena faced a painful choice: continue chasing the truth and risk exposing herself to unknown dangers, or back away to protect those she cared about. But the doll's haunting presence made retreat impossible. Meanwhile, Elena's sister, Sophia, returned home unexpectedly after years away, drawn by news of the doll. Their reunion was bittersweet. Sophia had always been skeptical, a rational thinker who refused to believe in ghost stories. But even she couldn't ignore the tension that thickened the air or the look in Elena's eyes. The fear mingled with determination. Sophia warned Elena of the personal toll the investigation could take. "You're chasing shadows," she said softly. "Sometimes it's better to let the past rest." Yet, Elena's resolve only deepened. She confessed to Marco and Sophia her darkest fear, that the doll wasn't just a symbol of loss, but a key to something far more dangerous, something that might be awakening. One night, while reviewing old letters from the Moretti children, Elena found a folded note slipped between the pages, written in a child's trembling hand. "The doll watches. It waits. Don't let it take you." The warning sent a chill through her. Had the children tried to fight? Or were they lost already? As the town's fog thickened and whispers grew louder, Elena realized the doll's mystery was entwined with the town's fate itself. And the closer she got to the truth, the harder it became to know whom to trust. The nights grew colder. The doll's presence weighed heavier in Elena's home, a silent sentinel in the corner of every room. Shadows seemed to lengthen, creeping closer with every passing hour. The feeling of being watched was no longer just a whisper, it was a scream in the silence. Elena's investigation was nearing a breaking point. The notes, the symbols, the warnings, all pointed to something buried deep in the town's history, a secret so dark it had been hidden for generations. And now, the past was clawing its way back. Arguments flared between Elena and Sophia. "You're obsessed," Sophia said one night, voice shaking with frustration. "This isn't just about ghosts or legends. It's about you losing yourself." Elena's eyes burned with determination. "If I don't finish this, who will? The town deserves to know the truth." Marco stayed caught between them, torn. He wanted to believe in reason, but the evidence was undeniable. Something was wrong, something dangerous. One evening, Elena received an anonymous package, a small lockbox. Inside was a cracked music box, playing a haunting lullaby. Beneath it, a note: "You're close. Don't trust the light." The message chilled her to the bone. Who was watching her? Who sent the warning? That same night, as a storm thundered outside, the power in Elena's house flickered and went out. In the pitch black, a faint glow pulsed from the doll's eyes. Elena froze. The room grew colder still. Suddenly, the front door creaked open on its own. A shadow moved inside, slow and deliberate. "Show yourself," Elena demanded, heart pounding. No answer, just silence. Then a whisper, almost too soft to hear. "You were warned." She wasn't alone. Meanwhile, the town's mayor convened a secret meeting with influential figures. "The investigation has gone too far," he warned. "If the truth surfaces, everything we've protected will unravel." They spoke of sacrifices, of silence, and of keeping the town's darkest chapter buried forever. Back at Elena's, Marco and Sophia rushed over, alerted by her last frantic call. Together, they barricaded the doors. "We have to get to the bottom of this before it's too late," Marco said. But the doll sat on the windowsill, unmoving, watching, waiting. The storm outside grew fiercer. Lightning split the sky, and then the ground beneath the Moretti house trembled. The storm raged outside, rattling windows and shaking the very walls of Elena's home. Inside, the tension was unbearable. The doll's eyes glowed brighter, casting eerie reflections on the trembling faces of Elena, Marco, and Sophia. Suddenly, the power flickered back on, only to plunge the room into darkness moments later. In that brief flash of light, Elena saw it, a figure standing silently in the corner behind Sophia. "Sophia?" Elena whispered, heart pounding, but Sophia stiffened, eyes cold and distant. "There's something I need to tell you," she said, voice barely above a whisper. Shock crashed through Elena. Sophia's sudden change, the way she avoided her gaze, it all added up. Sophia wasn't just skeptical anymore. She was hiding something. As thunder boomed, Sophia confessed. Years ago, before she left town, she'd been involved with a secret society that sought to control the town's darkest secrets, including the cursed doll. They believed the doll held a power that could bend fate, but it came at a terrible cost. They wanted to use it to protect the town, but the cost was too high, Sophia admitted. "I left to escape it, but now it's all catching up." Elena felt betrayal sting her deeply, but there was no time for anger. The doll's glow intensified, and suddenly, the music box from the locked package began to play on its own, a haunting lullaby that echoed through the house. At that moment, Marco's phone buzzed with a message, a live video feed from the Moretti house. The camera showed the basement door slowly creaking open. Elena, Marco, and Sophia exchanged a look of dread. The threshold between the past and present was breaking. Cross-cutting between the three, the story split. Sophia racing to confront her former allies, Marco trying to decipher the symbols in the basement, and Elena standing guard over the doll, the weight of their choices pressing down. But the most shocking revelation came when Marco uncovered old footage showing the town's mayor placing the doll on the Moretti windowsill the night the family vanished. A calculated move to contain something far worse. The mayor was not protecting the town. He was imprisoning a darkness that was now threatening to break free. The doll wasn't just a vessel of lost souls. It was a key to a power that could destroy everything. Elena's world shattered. The lines between friend and foe blurred, and the stakes skyrocketed. Now, with trust fractured and time running out, they faced a terrible question. How do you stop a darkness born of your own secrets? The basement door creaked wider, revealing a darkness deeper than any shadow. Elena, Marco, and Sophia stood at the threshold, the weight of everything pressing down. The doll's glow pulsed in Elena's hands, both a beacon and a warning. They descended cautiously, each step echoing in the silence. The walls were lined with faded photographs, old letters pinned like ghosts from the past. At the center, a strange symbol was etched into the floor, glowing faintly in the dim light. Suddenly, the air shifted. Whispers filled the space. Voices of the missing Moretti family, trapped in a place between worlds. Elena realized then the doll was not just a vessel or a curse. It was a tether, binding the souls to this world, holding them captive. Sophia reached forward, trembling. "We have to break the cycle. Free them." But as Elena prepared to destroy the doll, a figure emerged from the shadows. The mayor, eyes cold and resolute. "You don't understand," he said quietly. "Destroying it will unleash something far worse. I've kept this town safe for decades by holding it here." Torn between fear and hope, Elena hesitated. The doll pulsed faster, as if alive, begging for release or warning of doom. In a moment of clarity, Marco stepped forward. "Maybe the real prison is our fear. We have to trust that freeing them means breaking the darkness, not feeding it." Elena nodded, gripping the doll tightly. With a deep breath, she shattered it on the stone floor. A brilliant light burst forth, swallowing the room. The whispers became voices of gratitude, fading into peace. The symbol on the floor dissolved, the weight in the air lifting like a heavy fog. Outside, the storm broke. Sunlight poured over the town for the first time in decades. But as they exited the house, Sophia noticed something strange. A small, forgotten doll lying on the doorstep, untouched by time. Elena picked it up, eyes narrowing. It wasn't like the others. This one smiled. A chill ran down her spine. The story wasn't over. The morning sun warmed the town as if washing away years of shadow and silence. Elena, Marco, and Sophia stood outside the Moretti house, now quiet and still, a fragile peace settling over its weathered walls. The weight that had hung so heavily in the air was lifted for now. The missing family story was no longer buried in darkness. Their souls, once trapped by fear and secrets, had found release. Elena felt a bittersweet calm, knowing that sometimes closure comes with sacrifice and courage. Sophia, once burdened by guilt, seemed lighter, a woman reconciled with her past and ready to face the future. Marco, ever the skeptic turned believer, carried a new respect for the mysteries that hide beneath the surface of everyday life. Yet, the small doll on the doorstep remained, smiling in silence. It was a reminder that some stories never truly end, that darkness, even when pushed back, can linger in the smallest corners. Elena turned to her friends and whispered, "We've learned that sometimes the things we fear are only shadows waiting for the light." The town slowly returned to life. Neighbors spoke more openly of the past, no longer afraid to face the truth. The mystery of the doll became a cautionary tale, a symbol of the strength it takes to confront what we cannot see and to heal from it. But Elena knew this was just one chapter. The world holds countless forgotten stories, waiting patiently for someone brave enough to listen. As she walked away from the house, Elena's phone buzzed softly. A message from an unknown number appeared. "The story never ends. Watch closely." She smiled faintly and tucked the phone away. The truth is never truly gone, and neither are the shadows it casts.